Hello everyone and welcome to DuckBots Season 3 Episode 11. We are beyond the point we ended on when it came to Season 2, and we are in the closing stages of the qualifying round as we get into our second to last episode of the regular season. Some of the robots we will see tonight, we will not see again for the rest of the competition. My name is DuckBots, I am joined by Driver 2 as always.
Hello, and we have a very interesting episode. Let's take a look at the fight card.
Kicking us off in this episode, Dark Matter going up against Tornado. Two bots really on the brink of elimination here. Hairdo versus Aquatic Disaster. Aquatic Disaster, another robot. If it loses, it is eliminated. Astro Cookie, Toasted Cocoa Beans. Fortnite versus Obsidian. Seizure Box, embracing the Melty Brain strategy, going up against Pretzel Bite. Two Melty Brain fights in a row. Highlighted fight between Fruit Ninja and Claw Viper. And in the main event, it's a strange one. Blip and Under Destruction go at it. Battle of two lifting, flipping robots. That should be a fun one indeed. But kicking us off tonight is Dark Matter versus Tornado. And starting off with Dark Matter, the Oof Robotics machine, currently sitting at a record of 1-2. Got a very unfortunate judge's decision loss in its last fight against Serial Killer, where they kind of got a little overzealous and managed to flip themselves over on Serial Killer's chassis when they could have just backed away and taken the knockout. But they decided to get a little adventurous and ended up knocking themselves out. And their opponents tonight, also 1-2 on the season. We have Tornado, the Robot Wars machine created by Chaotic Robotics. It completely beat up a disabled Manta in its last fight, managed to score the judge's decision victory, almost a knockout as Manta died in the final few seconds. But they're up against Dark Matter tonight, looking to improve to a record of 2-2 to end the season. This should be quite an interesting fight. Tornado, obviously, very boxy robot going up against such a large spinner in Dark Matter. This is going to be a challenging fight for Tornado, but I think they're capable of getting it. Let's see who takes this one in the arena.
And the robots are underway. Tornado off to a fast start. Dark Matter speeding up. Oh, that was a nice shot there from Tornado, sending Dark Matter flying across the arena.
Tornado off to a fast start, really trying to do all they can in this fight to stop that weapon, but there's a good little throw there by Dark Matter, almost flipping Tornado over, and a good little attack there. Spinning Tornado around and ripping off part of the sides. Already Dark Matter off to a hot start in the damage category, ripping off some pieces of Tornado, and another part of that side armor package of Tornado just ripped right off. And Dark Matter is just going to town in the opening seconds of this fight. Tornado, they don't really seem to have an answer for the moment. All they can do is really throw that body into the spinning weapon of Dark Matter and just hope and pray that it gets deactivated. But right now, Dark Matter just completely on the attack right now.
Dark Matter doing better than we've ever seen it. It's hit Tornado and not flipped over and died. So far, who knows? Anything can happen. Tornado getting thrown, getting dismantled a little bit. Dark Matter landing some good shots, throwing it around.
Good shot there by Dark Matter as Driver 2 is finishing up, tossing Tornado a little bit. Tornado, they really need to do something in this fight if they want to reverse the result of this match around, because at the moment, Dark Matter just completely dominating this fight as Tornado seems to have no answer for that large spinning blade on the Oof Robotics machine. But now Tornado has a chance. That weapon is slowing down. Can Tornado get in some control as Dark Matter just seems to be running into the wall at the moment? Good little attack there by Tornado, just really just kamikazing themselves straight into that blade of Dark Matter. That is their only chance in this fight to score any offense. But now going for the spin attack, and Dark Matter just bouncing off their blade. Dark Matter continuing to keep up the pressure and not allow Tornado to do much of anything. But until now, good little push by Tornado, but Dark Matter reversing it into a push of their own. Very good fight to start off our episode. Dark Matter certainly on top, but Tornado not backing down in this one, doing a good job of staying in it.
They certainly are, but we are nearing towards the... Oh!
Dark Matter flipped on their head. That is gonna do it. Tornado finally getting the attack we were talking about in this match, ramming straight into Dark Matter, flipping them on their head. And that is going to be a knockout. Chaotic Robotics and Tornado finish the season at 2-2 with a win over Dark Matter. Slow start to the season and this fight by Tornado, but they were able to make it up in the end. 2 straight wins to end off their season, one of them by knockout. Tornado's got a very decent tournament round bid here.
They certainly do. 2-2 robot. We have seen many 2-2 robots in this field. Hopefully they'll get a pretty mid-level seed. They're certainly doing good so far. I don't think anybody predicted Tornado to do this good.
Dark Matter 1-3 as well on the season so far. That's just not good if you're oof in this scenario. 1-3, gonna be tough to get into the bracket from there. It's possible, but we shall see come the time of the reveal. But now, getting into our next match, we have Hairdo. And now Hairdo, this is another robot that has really been struggling all season so far. 1-2 on the season so far. Very good win in their last match against Fina, but in their first 2 fights, they got completely annihilated by both Toffee and Fortnite. Looking to bounce back here against Aquatic Disaster in this match. Oh, and speaking of Aquatic Disaster, 0-3 on the season, the ultimate robotics machine. 3 just really unfortunate losses. I think it's had 3 KO losses. Yeah, true, 3 KO losses so far this season. But the fun fact it has in this fight is that Hairdo was actually the robot to inspire the creation of Aquatic Disaster. Very cool. Can they get the win against the robot that inspired them? That would be very cool. Poor Ultimate is just 0-3 all across the board right now. Can Aquatic Disaster get a win for Ultimate in this fight? It is certainly possible the way that we've seen Hairdo be performing so far this season. Without further ado, let's see how this one goes.
And the robots are underway. Aquatic Disaster getting a small attack, nothing really big. Hairdo's weapon seeming to be acting like a wedge right there. That was kind of interesting.
Hairdo kind of using their blade as kind of a ramp, getting underneath Aquatic Disaster in this one, but right now the 2 robots just exchanging minor blows to start off. 2 weapons trying to get up to the fastest speeds. Aquatic Disaster, not the most devastating blade. Hairdo takes a while for them to really get up to killing speed. But it looks like right now 2 robots locking horns, and is one of those drive sides on Hairdo down?
Is it? Aquatic Disaster seems to be stuck on the wall right now. Okay, there it goes. It freed itself. Hairdo not looking great. Oh! It's been hit against the screws.
Flipped on their back. Hairdo just going head on with Aquatic Disaster, and I think that might just be it for them in this fight. As Aquatic Disaster, they're 0-3 with 3 KO losses. They're gonna take this win against a very disappointing Hairdo in this match. Finally, after 6, now 7 fights, Ultimate has his first win on the season. Nice job, Ultimate. Aquatic Disaster getting the win against the robot that inspired its creation. Hairdo, where do you go from here for Hairdo? Every single time this robot has competed, it has gone not very well. 1-3 on this season, with a fairly mediocre win being their 1 win, and a very unfortunate loss. They lost to an 0-3 bots.
Imagine.
Hairdo gonna need to make some changes next time they come back. Aquatic Disaster improves to 1-3, but we shall see if that gets them anywhere.
Next up, we have Astro Cookie. It won in episode 1 against Pumpkin, and everyone was like, yo, this is amazing. Pumpkin seemed like an unstoppable force. But Astro Cookie, since its win, has not been doing very good. It picked up 2 losses, and since a blade, I don't know what to call it, malfunction, it's been sporting the white chocolate blade, which certainly is interesting. I mean, it's a wedge versus a horizontal, like tale as old as time. And now we have said wedge, Toasted Cocoa Beans. It actually got a win.
Toasted Cocoa Beans getting a win in their last match against Steel Legion, a robot with a lifter, and them being a robot that can't drive upside down. Very good win for them in this fight. Should be interesting to see how they fare against Astro Cookie. Like Driver 2 mentioned, Astro Cookie got that opening win against Pumpkin, but then since then has struggled with 2 losses that have just been, frankly, very disappointing. Going up against Toasted Cocoa Beans tonight, interesting to see how they fare. Could they flip themselves over on that wedge again? We shall find out. Let's see how this one goes. And we are underway in this fight. Astro Cookie immediately ricocheting off the wedge of Toasted Cocoa Beans. Box rushed by both robots in this fight, meeting in the middle and almost flipped over. Toasted Cocoa Beans doing a very good job of just using that wedge as a battering ram, trying to do all they can to try and flip Astro Cookie over, as we've seen has been very detrimental to them in the past, but now almost on the screws and flipped over again. Astro Cookie trying to do all they can with their blade, but right now Toasted Cocoa Beans seem to be in control.
They certainly are. Wedge versus horizontal, as I mentioned earlier. We have Wedge pushing into the corner. Astro Cookie almost lifted up on top of the screws. That would be really funny if they just got stuck up there. That would be just silly.
Astro Cookie so far getting bullied in this fight. They haven't been flipped over like we've seen be the end of all their fights so far, other than their win. But right now they're getting out-controlled by Toasted Cocoa Beans. Good little shot there by Astro Cookie. Just raking across. Good shot to the wheel as well of Astro Cookie. Toasted Cocoa Beans doing a very good job staying in control, but Astro Cookie fighting back as best they can, as they are starting to rack up the aggression points with those repeated shots with that white chocolate blade. But now, both bots kind of circling around. Astro Cookie continuing to just deflect off of the wedge on Toasted Cocoa Beans, trying to do a little spin attack there to try and rip it off. That was cool. But yet again, almost flipped over. Whenever they go really fast into that wedge, they almost teeter on their wheel. But they've managed to stay in their wheel so far in this fight. Could that change as this fight continues on?
I don't know. We've certainly seen some crazy things happen here on DuckBots. Astro Cookie still failing to get a wedge loosening shot on Toasted Cocoa Beans. Toasted Cocoa Beans being very controlling. Nice pin there. The chocolate's beating the cookie, guys.
Toasted Cocoa Beans so far doing a very good job of staying in control of this match. It's a very simple robot, Tombstone with a wedge, but it is mighty effective. And as I'm saying that, Astro Cookie flipped onto their heads, and they are not moving in the corner. Toasted Cocoa Beans executing this fight to perfection, keeping Astro Cookie at bay, and getting the knockout win against Astro Cookie. Toasted Cocoa Beans putting on a show in this one. Wow, who would have thought Toasted Cocoa Beans takes it to Astro Cookie in this fight?
Certainly not me, although it is a wedge versus a horizontal once again. I think a lot of people would have expected it just looking at the weapon types on these robots. But certainly, the Toasted Cocoa Beans, it got a second win. Can you possibly imagine?
2 wins on the season for TCB. That's going to bring them to 2-2. Very good bracket chance for that robot. But Astro Cookie, 1-3. Similar scenario to Dark Matter. It's going to take a miracle, but it's possible. But moving on, oh boy, we have got one of the most anticipated fights of the season so far. It is the battle of Fortnite versus Minecraft. We have Fortnite up first. The Melty Brain Spinner started off their season with 2 dominant wins against Aquatic Disaster in Hairdo, but in their last fight, they had a very unfortunate loss against Spellbreak. Looking to bounce back after that loss in this fight against a robot like Obsidian, who has been struggling more in the season than they've succeeded.
Yeah, they certainly have. Record of 1-2. We've seen that a lot today so far. A lot of 1-2 robots. They've been having some issues with spinning up. They've been having some issues with losing their shell. It's been a whirlwind for Obsidian so far this season. Fortnite came in. Nobody thought that thing was going to be good. Obsidian, this is going to be a really interesting fight. We have two really good full body spinners or Melty Brains, but the real question is Fortnite versus Minecraft, what's better?
Fortnite 2-1 in the season, Obsidian 1-2. Let's see how this fight goes. And we are underway in the battle of the video games. Both body spinners spinning up to speed. Good little shot there by Obsidian, but Fortnite has broken the screws.
Hey, that's mean. Don't break the screws. They're expensive. Fortnite spinning in place at this time. It's not really melting. It's just braining.
Not really melting. It's just braining. That is crazy description. Fortnite up to kill speed. Obsidian going in for the attack. That's pretty much all they can do in this fight. They're the much more mobile robot, so they are going to really have all the chance in this one to pick their shots. But there's not many places you can hit on a bot like Fortnite. And the shell of Obsidian comes falling to the ground. Huge weapon on weapon collision, really. In Fortnite now, they're definitely favored to take the control of this match here now that Obsidian doesn't have their shell. But it seems to be that Obsidian, now without their shell, able to get some more control in this. Fortnite is just backed into a corner right now. But now spinning up to speed again. Fortnite up to speed. Can they deliver a huge shot to Obsidian in a huge throw there to the black box that remains of Obsidian in this fight? Fortnite spinning up in the corner. Oh, and they're on their side.
Fortnite is dead. It got beat by a black box with a directional indicator. Could you imagine? It looks like Minecraft still wins when the Nether doesn't even exist.
Incredible showing there from Obsidian, losing their shell, fighting back with the black box chassis, able to flip Fortnite onto their side and score the knockout victory. Very good showing in that match from Obsidian. They're going to improve to 2-2 on the season. Fortnite sitting at 2-2 as well. Obviously, 2 knockout losses. Not going to boast very well going into the postseason. But hey, both these robots off to decent starts, decent finishes really, 2-2 records for each. Be interesting to see who gets in the bracket. I think they'll both get in, but the seeding will be interesting to see. But let's move on, and we have yet another Melty Brain. It is Seizure Box. Last time out we saw Seizure Box. I don't really know what it did, man. It turned into a Melty Brain mid-fight, changed its strategy, and got a knockout win against Overhead Death. SummerSlam semi-finalist Overhead Death in that fight. And for this match here, they've decided to embrace the Melty Brain. That should be fun. But their opponents tonight are Pretzel Bite. Driver 2, what do you have to say about Pretzel Bite?
Pretzel Bite is extremely underrated. Yet again, we have a 1-2 robot. We've seen a lot of those tonight, I will say that again. Pretzel Bite is very strong, has a really good horizontal spinner. It got damaged up. Its fight against Squish was absolutely amazing. It's fighting Seizure Box. I think it has a good chance of winning. I mean, losing to Seizure Box, that's kind of low. Like, how do you do that? That's talented. Just ask Overhead Death.
Seizure Box becoming a Melty Brain in this fight. We will see their configuration in a few moments against Pretzel Bite. This should be fun. Horizontal versus Melty. Let's see how this one goes. And we are underway in this fight. Seizure Box has that infamous old blade mounted to the top as they just spin up to high spinning speeds immediately and just Melty Braining across the arena like crazy. Pretzel Bite basically just fighting the AI in this one.
Seizure Box. It's not all Melty and no brain. It's all brain and no Melty at this point. It's actually surprisingly small looking compared to Pretzel Bite. I don't know why I just realized that.
Spinning very fast as well. Like that is a very fast Melty Brain spinner out there.
Speed.
On Seizure Box. Good little shot there by Pretzel Bite, tossing them around. That blade hasn't really been able to get up to 2-2 danger of a speed. Good little shot there by Pretzel Bite to the side of Seizure Box. This has been a very controlled match for Pretzel Bite. I don't think Seizure Box can have a controlled match. But Pretzel Bite doing all they can to keep Seizure Box at bay in this one. This is... Where was this robot comes straight from a fever dream. It's just spitting with the Seizure Blade on top. Oh god.
So whose idea was it to make Seizure Box? Just asking for a friend. This thing is... That's a monstrosity. That should not exist.
But now Seizure Box seems to have slowed down a little bit, but now right back up to speed. Pretzel Bite, good little shot there, and now they're slowing down yet again. Have those hits from Pretzel Bite done something to slow down the spinning speed of Seizure Box in this one? Could be the case, but now Seizure Box. There we go, yet again, up to a very fast speed with that chassis. Good little shot there by Pretzel Bite yet again to the body of Seizure Box. And now something looks to be coming off of Seizure Box. I don't know, it's starting to deform a little bit. Oh, what is... There's something very wrong with... Oh!
It just exploded!
Spontaneously combusting Seizure Box. The guts have come flying out. And Pretzel Bite's gonna pick up the KO win. Where did this all go wrong for Seizure Box in this fight? It was after a few hits, you could start to see something started to jut out of the side right here. I don't know, something looks a little off about that robot. But then, when it came time, the killing blow in this fight, Pretzel Bite able to kind of just bully Seizure Box around, and then, bam, all the electronics come spilling out of that robot, although the electronics are literally just one motor. And that was all she wrote for Seizure Box. Rapid disassembly of that robot. They are going to fall to 1-3. Pretzel Bite improving to 2-2, getting their season back on track after 2 losses. Very good showing from them. RIP Seizure Box.
Now we have a highlighted fight, our personal favorite here at DuckBots. No, it's not. Claw Viper versus Fruit Ninja. Claw Viper basically just controlled this fight. I mean, the lifter on Claw Viper wasn't lifting, and the spinner on Fruit Ninja wasn't spinning very well. I mean, maybe it was doing better than normal, but it's Fruit Ninja, let's be real, guys. Claw Viper, this fight was mid. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about this.
Claw Viper pretty much just controlled this fight to the 3-minute bell. Fruit Ninja couldn't really do much of anything against such a controlling robot like Claw Viper. And that was all she wrote for this fight. Claw Viper improving to 3-1, clinching a bracket spot, potentially up for a high seed. But now it's main event time, and I have to let Driver 2 take this one.
This is Under Destruction. It beats that Octopus last round, just like it's going to do in NHRL June, although I'm pretty sure by the time this airs that that will already be done. Under Destruction is an amazing robot. It's 2-1. It already lost to Master. That was very sad. But hopefully it will not be doing the same thing against Blip, because, well, Blip can get the Blip flips, Under Destruction can get the Under Destruction, Destruction. Now we have Blip.
Blip coming into this fight at a record of 2-1. Very surprising showing for this robot so far. Not entirely projected to be one of the top bots of the season so far, but with a miracle win in this fight, they can improve to 3-1 and secure a bracket spot. Blip has just been on the up so far this season, took the loss against Quicksilver, but after that they were able to bounce back with a solid win over Obsidian, and then the win over Tornado, which at this point could also be a bracket bot. Going into this section of the competition, this should be an interesting fight. Let's see how the main event goes. And we are underway in this main event. Fast start for both robots and nearly jumping the gun as Blip trying to find an angle here on Under Destruction. This is already the longest Under Destruction fight that has been commentated so far, because the other two were instantaneous Udos and the other one was a highlighted fight.
That was sad. Why was that a highlighted fight?
It was absolutely awful. Under Destruction so far able to get around to the sides of Blip so far and just able to push them against the wall. Right now Blip, the lack of forks on this robot certainly harming it against a robot with such large wedges like Under Destruction. But now Blip pushed against the wall, can't really do much of anything. Under Destruction on top in this fight so far.
Certainly has, but it seems like Blip is a little too heavy for Under Destruction to lift out of the arena. Maybe it's a size, maybe it's its weight. Yes, I just fat-shamed Blip, the internet can kill me. But Under Destruction certainly dominating right now. No worries, we're doing really good. Let's go, Under Destruction.
Under Destruction doing good, but now one of those wedges starting to peel up. Something must be wrong with the hinges of that rope, because Blip now able to get underneath. Good little half flip there, pushing them into the wall. Can they get the flip?
The high wall is diabolical, Blip.
Blip getting Under Destruction over the high wall with the out of the arena flip. Not just the Uda flip we've been looking for, but over the high wall as well. You could see Under Destruction was just teetering on the edge. It took every last ounce of strength from that lifter on Blip to get Under Destruction out, just like we saw here. able to get them over. Blip secures the out of the arena win over the high wall, and that is them improving to 3-1. It is official. Mark your calendars. Blip 3-1, officially in the bracket. Under Destruction finishes at 2-2. High Caliber roguelike, that should be fine.
Depressing.
But that is all. That is all that we've seen in this episode. Tornado got a win against Dark Matter. Fortnite, yeah, no, not gonna happen. Seizure Box detonated. That'll be fun. And Blip got the Uda flip over the wall to make the bracket. But next episode, it is the final episode and the bracket reveal. Revenge of Mouse. We've got Master against Steel Legion. Pumpkin, TPU Spinner. Luke's not going to like that one. And in the main event, it's Yeeter versus Bloodlust. Can one of those bots secure the 1 seed? Thank you all so much for watching this episode. We will see you next time where the bracket is revealed. Adios!